The bouncer blocked her exit and demanded her number. 2 minutes later, he was begging to keep his job. Club Palladium, Manhattan. Saturday night, November 4th, 1995, 11:30 p.m. The pulsing music, flashing lights, and crowd of Manhattan's elite create the perfect atmosphere for predators who understand that authority plus isolation equals opportunity to exploit vulnerability without consequence. Marcus Boulder Henderson, 6 feet 4 inches, 280 pounds of steroid-enhanced muscle, wrapped in a cheap black suit, stands guard at the main exit with the confidence of someone who's never been challenged by anyone brave enough to question his abuse of power. Boulder represents everything dangerous about unchecked authority. 5 years working high-end club security, he's perfected the art of using his position to intimidate, harass, and control anyone he considers beneath his status, women especially. His routine is practiced, efficient, and protected by management who value his ability to handle troublemakers more than they care about complaints from female patrons who probably ask for it anyway. Tonight, Boulder has spotted his target. Sarah Mitchell, 24 years old, marketing executive, celebrating her promotion with girlfriends who've already left. She's alone, attractive, and heading for the exit. Perfect victim for Boulder's standard intimidation protocol. Sarah approaches the exit with obvious relief at escaping the crowded, overheated club. Her evening was successful. Good friends, celebration drinks, networking with colleagues. Now she wants to get home safely, catch an early cab while the night is still manageable. Boulder positions himself directly in the exit doorway, using his massive frame to create physical barrier that forces interaction. "Where are you going so early, beautiful? Night's just getting started." Sarah stops, recognizes immediately the situation every woman dreads. Authority figure using position to trap her in uncomfortable interaction. "Just heading home. Long day tomorrow." Boulder's grin reveals confidence built through years of unchallenged predatory behavior. "Home? Come on, don't be antisocial. Why don't you stick around, have a drink with me? I'll make sure nobody bothers you." Sarah attempts polite deflection while assessing escape options that Boulder's positioning has systematically eliminated. "Thanks, but I really need to go. My friends are expecting me." Boulder steps closer, eliminating personal space while maintaining plausible deniability about threatening behavior. "Your friends already left you here alone. Doesn't seem like they care much about your safety. Lucky for you, I do." 30 feet away, sitting at the corner of the bar nursing his second whiskey, Mike Tyson processes the interaction with street instincts that immediately recognize predatory behavior, regardless of environment. Mike came to Palladium for quiet drink after business dinner, hoping to avoid usual crowd of autograph seekers and hangers-on who make normal social interaction impossible. The corner bar stool provides perfect observation point for club dynamics while maintaining privacy. But Mike's Brooklyn conditioning makes him incapable of ignoring situations where power gets abused to victimize people who can't defend themselves effectively. Size, authority, and territorial advantage creating opportunity for exploitation triggers protective instincts that celebrity status hasn't diminished. Sarah's voice carries slight edge of desperation as Boulder's intimidation escalates beyond uncomfortable into threatening. "Please, I just want to leave. I'm not interested in a drink." Boulder's expression hardens as polite rejection challenges his authority and threatens the power dynamic he spent 5 years establishing through systematic intimidation of club patrons. "Not interested? That's rude. I'm being friendly, offering hospitality. Least you could do is show some appreciation for my attention." Boulder moves even closer, using his overwhelming size advantage to create psychological pressure that makes Sarah understand her situation has moved beyond harassment into potential physical threat. Tell you what, beautiful, give me your number, promise you'll call me this week, and maybe I'll let you leave. Otherwise, we might have to discuss your attitude problem. Sarah's professional composure cracks slightly as she recognizes Boulder's threat transcends verbal harassment into quid pro quo extortion, backed by physical intimidation and positional authority. I don't have to give you anything. You can't force me to stay here. Boulder's laugh carries cruelty refined through years of enjoying psychological dominance over vulnerable people. Can't force you. Sweetheart, I'm head of security. I decide who stays and who goes. Right now, I'm detecting suspicious behavior that requires investigation. Mike stands from his bar stool, his movement controlled, but carrying authority that immediately transforms club atmosphere from background observation into focused attention on developing situation. The bartender notices Mike's movement, recognizes potential celebrity involvement in club drama that could generate positive or negative publicity depending on how management handles the situation. Mike approaches Boulder and Sarah with measured steps that demonstrate controlled purpose rather than aggressive intention. His presence fills space in ways that change power dynamics without requiring verbal announcement or physical positioning. Evening, Mike says calmly, addressing both Boulder and Sarah with respectful tone that acknowledges everyone's dignity while subtly repositioning himself where intervention becomes possible if necessary. Boulder turns, recognizes Mike immediately from countless television broadcasts and media coverage. Holy shit, Mike Tyson. Yo, champ, what's good? Love your work, man. Real honor meeting you. Mike nods politely. Nice meeting you too. Everything okay here? Lady seems like she's trying to leave. Boulder's confidence wavers slightly as he recognizes that celebrity attention might complicate his standard intimidation routine, but maintains possessive stance that claims territorial authority over the situation. Just having friendly conversation with this lovely lady. Making sure she gets home safe, you know? Dangerous city out there for women traveling alone. Mike's analysis penetrates Boulder's rationalization with precision that makes predatory behavior appear exactly as pathetic as it actually is when exposed to objective observation. Friendly conversation? Mike asks, positioning himself where Boulder must acknowledge both Mike's presence and Sarah's obvious discomfort. Looks more like she's trying to leave and you're preventing that. Sarah seizes opportunity provided by Mike's intervention. He won't let me go to my cab. Says I have to give him my number or he'll detain me for suspicious behavior. Boulder's face reddens as Sarah's explanation exposes his intimidation tactics to someone whose opinion could affect his employment and reputation throughout Manhattan nightclub scene. Yo, champ, she's exaggerating. Just standard security protocol. Can't be too careful these days. Lots of crazy people out there. Mike's expression doesn't change as he processes Boulder's attempted justification through street psychology that immediately recognizes manipulation, territorial abuse, and predatory rationalization. Standard protocol requires women to give bouncers their phone numbers before leaving, Mike asks quietly. That's interesting policy. Wonder what management thinks about that procedure. Boulder realizes his intimidation strategy has attracted attention from someone whose celebrity status provides both moral authority and potential consequences for exposed abuse of power. Look, Tyson, this ain't your business. I handle club security. She's my responsibility until she leaves the premises safely. Mike's response transcends Boulder's understanding of how protective instincts operate when they've been refined through Brooklyn survival and tested through championship pressure. Your responsibility to protect her safety, or your opportunity to abuse your position for personal gratification, Mike asks, moving closer to Boulder with controlled authority that makes everyone present understand celebrity doesn't eliminate street capabilities. Boulder attempts to maintain bouncer authority despite obvious recognition that his usual intimidation tactics won't work against someone whose dangerous reputation was earned through environments more challenging than nightclub politics. I don't like what you're implying, champ. Maybe you should mind your own business before this gets complicated. Mike's smile carries implications that Boulder's limited experience with authentic, dangerous people hasn't prepared him to interpret accurately. Complicated? You're 6 feet 4 inches, 280 pounds, using your position to intimidate a woman who weighs maybe 120. And you think I'm the one making things complicated? Mike extends his right hand toward Boulder in gesture that appears respectful but carries psychological weight beyond casual celebrity interaction. Let's shake hands, Boulder. Professional courtesy between security professionals. You can tell me about your employee training while I explain neighborhood protection principles. Boulder hesitates, recognizing that Mike's simple request carries implications his bouncer experience didn't prepare him to evaluate safely. But refusing would confirm cowardice in front of club patrons whose respect determines his authority. Boulder extends his massive hand, expecting normal courtesy that will conclude confrontation and allow him to maintain face while strategically withdrawing from escalated situation. Mike's grip activates immediately, not gradually but comprehensively, engaging pressure points and leverage applications that steroid enhancement and gym training never encountered or prepared Boulder to understand or counter effectively. Within 15 seconds, Boulder's bouncer confidence transforms into recognition of complete helplessness against capabilities that celebrity status concealed rather than accurately advertised. Jesus Christ, Boulder whispers, his voice barely audible to nearby witnesses. What kind of grip strength is that? Mike maintains controlled pressure without increasing force, demonstrating capability rather than causing permanent damage. Brooklyn's strength combined with championship conditioning. 20 years of learning that protecting people isn't job description, it's moral responsibility. Boulder attempts to increase his own pressure, utilizing pharmaceutical-enhanced muscle mass that should provide decisive advantage in direct strength comparison. But his steroid-developed power operates through different mechanical principles than Mike's functional capabilities. Stop! Boulder gasps, his massive frame beginning to respond involuntarily to pressure applications that his nervous system can't process or counter through conventional strength training adaptations. Mike releases Boulder's hand immediately, steps back to respectful distance. His demonstration complete through controlled education rather than destructive humiliation that would create ongoing problems. Lady wants to leave Boulder. Time to step aside and let her go home safely. That's what real security professionals do. Protect people, not exploit them. Boulder massages, feeling back into his hand, his authority permanently altered by encounter with capabilities that 5 years of bouncer experience never prepared him to understand or challenge. Sarah approaches the exit that Boulder no longer blocks, her relief obvious as the intimidation that trapped her dissolves into respectful distance. "Thank you," she says to Mike, her voice carrying gratitude that extends beyond simple rescue appreciation into recognition of moral courage that risked comfort to protect strangers' safety. Mike nods respectfully. "My pleasure, miss. Get home safe. These streets can be dangerous, but not from people who should be protecting you." Boulder retreats toward the club interior, his predatory confidence permanently altered by educational experience that exposed the difference between artificial authority and authentic power. Within hours, Boulder's encounter spreads through Manhattan nightclub scene, establishing immediately that abusing bouncer position might attract attention from people whose capabilities transcend employment disputes into career-ending consequences. The club manager, reviewing security footage and witness reports, terminates Boulder's employment before the weekend ends, recognizing that liability exposure from sexual harassment lawsuits outweighs any value from his intimidation capabilities. Sarah Mitchell returns to work Monday morning with renewed faith in community protection and moral courage that transcends celebrity status into genuine character demonstration when situations require immediate intervention. Mike continues his quiet evening at Palladium, earning respect from club staff and patrons through consistent demonstration of protective values rather than celebrity entitlement or social intimidation. Years later, Mike credits the Boulder Henderson encounter as a reminder that success creates responsibility to use privilege constructively, rather than simply enjoying benefits without contributing to community protection. Boulder thought his size and position made him untouchable, Mike tells interviewers. Instead, he learned that some authority comes from moral courage rather than physical intimidation, and that abusing power might be most expensive mistake a bouncer can make when someone's watching who remembers what protection actually means. The lesson transcends nightclub politics. It's about understanding that authority should serve protection rather than exploitation, that capability creates responsibility to defend rather than threaten, and that moral courage sometimes requires risking comfort to protect vulnerability. One predatory bouncer learned that lesson through direct demonstration that assumptions about untouchable authority can be dramatically incorrect when someone's watching who possesses both ability and willingness to intervene constructively. Club Palladium still hosts Manhattan's elite nightlife, but staff will tell newcomers about the night Boulder Henderson abused his authority once too often, discovering that some protection comes from unexpected sources and that predatory assumptions about safe exploitation can be dramatically mistaken when authentic guardians are paying attention. The 2 minutes that transformed predator into unemployed coward, victim into safely departing patron, and celebrity into community protector through demonstration that moral authority transcends employment status when authentic character responds to situations requiring immediate protective intervention,